about love today because it's a friendship day and love is of different kinds, right? So do you think, just write down, do you think love can move mountains today? Or sorry, love can move mountains? So we have an example of a person, Dashrath Manjhi, right, who actually did this, for his because of his love for his wife. He did that, with just a hammer and a chisel. He carved out a mountain and he created a road. So he reduced the distance of from 72 kilometers to 1 kilometer, right? And how could he do that? Did he get some supernatural powers? Or was it like a magical thing? No, he just had a very, very strong goal. He had a reason and he had a goal to make that happen. His mind was not ready to fathom any problems at that point of time. He just looked at possibilities. He just looked at, there are certain things that just needs to be done. So always remember, each one of us has a dream merchant inside us, right? Which fuels our aspirations and our desires. But that dream merchant is also like a double-edged sword. Why is it a double-edged sword? Because it also excels in the art of escapism. So it's not just enough to dream, right? One should also take a grasp of reality there, right? And how do you channelize this dream merchant from those fantasies to realities? By converting the dreams into goals that become very, very important. So there is a huge difference between dreams and goals, right? So we're going to be talking about that today. Why? Because it's very important to identify as to, what dreams are. Remember, dreams are a precursor to goals. So dreams are very important, but they don't work on their own because it's very easy to escape from there. So it's very important to convert them into goals. But how do you differentiate? So different between goals and action and dreams are action. When you dream, you might take an action or you might not take an action. It's a fantasy world. It's all fluff, right? But the moment you start taking action on your dreams, it becomes goals. So that's how you differentiate. Then, of course, TikTok. TikTok means time. Dreams don't have any time limit to it. You can continue to dream all your life. But the moment you put a time to your dream, it becomes a goal for you, right? So goal is a dream with a time, right? And then, of course, invest. When you dream, you don't need any investment. They are free. Of course, success has a price, but dreams are free, absolutely free. So it's great that the world is full of dreamers, right? We love the dreamers. The statues are all created for dreamers and the doers of the world, and none of them are for the critics or who said, oh, no, these things cannot be done. The statues are there for those people who could actually dream and do something in life. So very, very important. But if you're looking at results, if you're looking at investing, goals require investment. It requires an investment of our time, our energy, and sometimes our money as well, right? Because we need to work on them. Results. Now, you could continue to keep dreaming and you might not get any results. But the moment it's goals, right, then we look forward to the results. They are going to yield certain kind of result over a period of time. Reality check. How reality check? I mean, dreams are, of course, intangible, right? But it's the goals that move us and shake us and get us to reality and say, okay, this thing needs to be done now. So that's a reality check, right? And end and new beginning. So dreams have no end. You could, like I said, you can continue to keep dreaming, but goals, you complete your goals and you set newer ones. So it has an end and it has a beginning. And it's these small goals that you continue to make throughout your life is what actually then helps you to lead your dream life, or that ultimate goal or that ultimate dream that you have about yourself, right? And the other point is, first the goal, then the struggle. So I would say first the dream. Remember, dream is a precursor to a goal. First the dream, then the goal, then the struggle, and then the prize, right? So goals are very, very tangible. So can we move on to the next screen, please? Right? Okay, now very important thing to understand is that, when we are setting the goals, of course, we know this parameter. Everybody's heard about it. Smarter. They should be specific. They should be exactly what you want. So let's say this month's goal could be, if education wise, I need to complete this syllabus. For work wise, okay, I need to, if any extra qualification I'm doing, I'm going to be putting in these many hours in my studies or this many hours in my work. And this is what I'm looking at. This is the income that I'm looking at. They are measurable. They should be measurable. That means next month you should be able to measure how much you have done. Have you completed what you set out for? Or in case you haven't completed, you're still able to measure it and you can move on. You can take it on from there. Okay, they're realistic. Right now, this is a big catch here, because a lot of times people set goals which look very nice, sound very nice, very impressive. Maybe not as much to us, but to the people that we say, sometimes it's that talk value, right? Which sounds nice, but at the same time, they might not be very realistic ones to achieve. Right now, let's give a very small example. Now, somebody just started their exercise routine, right? Or they just started going to the gym. Obviously, you start with basics in a month. You can't really do the intensive workout. Now somebody says 15 days and I'll be, my goal in life is intensive workout and I'm going to have a six pack in, let's say, these many months time, right? Sounds nice, right? Maybe good for motivation, but it's not really very realistic. So a good goal, a smart goal, is something which is realistic as well, and of course time bound. Right? We always said, even in the last slide when we were talking about difference between dreams and goals, we talked about that how, goals have to be time bound because they have to be an end and new beginning. It's the small goals. You keep achieving, you keep rewarding, you keep celebrating, and then you keep moving on. And that gives you confidence as well, right? So time bound is very important. It has to be absolutely 15 days, a month, 2 months, 6 months, short term, mid term, long term, but it has to be time bound. Rewarding, like I just said, right? Very important that it adds value, and at the same time, there are some celebrations. The moment you can achieve them, there is. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about it when we talk about certain things that we need to do while after we clearly make our goal. So next slide. Okay, so it has to be rewarding as well. So that makes our goals which are smarter. Now, what happens is at times, when we set our goals, everything is in place. We know exactly what we want in our life. The goals are set, and it's the time to get set, go. But there are certain things that we have to keep in mind in that process of that goal setting journey, right? Because there is one thing which is called goal setting, and there's another thing called that journey, right? When you start moving towards their goal. So there are certain things that we need to keep in mind, right? The first thing is, of course, recharge your battery 100%, right? Wanting is not just enough. You could set a goal and you could really want it, but just not wanting is enough. You have to be possessed, right? Be in that zone for some times. And your goals should have some purpose in your life that just keeps you motivated. That means it's a smart goal. It has that purpose in your life. Now, here I always remember that little story that I had heard, of a guru and his disciple. And the disciple is asking his guru all the time that, okay, tell me the secret for success. Tell me the secret for success. And the sage, the guru, keeps telling him, okay, it's all in good time, all in good time. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. But he keeps pestering him with this question. And suddenly there is a river, and the guru tells his disciple, okay, now get into the river. So both of them get into the river, and they start moving ahead. So the water keeps rising. It rises up till their their neck, then it rises up till their nose, their mouth, and then it rises up to the nose. And what does the guru do? He puts his hand on the disciple's head, and he just puts his head down into the water. And this guy starts trying to save himself. He starts yelling and screaming and throwing his arms because obviously he cannot breathe. So, for some time, he just keeps his head down, and then he lets him come up. And this guy has water, coming out from his nose, from his mouth. He seems very scared. And he comes out, and, they come out of the river, and he says, what did you do? I mean, were you wanting to end my life? Why did you do that? He says, I didn't do anything. You only asked me to do, ask me what is how do you achieve success in your life? And he says, yeah, but what's the connection? I can't find the connection between the two. He says, okay, tell me, when your head was down, what was the topmost thing in your mind? What was it that you were really thinking? He said, I was just thinking about, how can I breathe? I was not able to breathe. I just wanted to breathe. I was desperate to breathe. He says, if you're desperate for success, you will get it. Right? So that is the secret of success. So that's the secret of goal setting also. So when you say recharge your batteries, are you really, I mean, of course, this is a story, but what it tries to tell you is that, are you really, wanting what you have said, you've written it down, right? Because this needs to have a purpose, and you should be possessed for some time. And a lot of times people say, oh, possessed, I mean, is it the only thing in life? Well, for that time period, it doesn't have to be your entire life, but for that time period, can you really, be in that zone? Because that's what, that's when goals are achieved. Then is 100% commitment, right? Um, Commitment towards your goals, right? And that's very important. And once you're committed, things get done, right? Now, let me again illustrate this point with a story, right? Because it's always easy to connect with stories, and stories somehow always stay in our mind, right? So there was this guy who used to never complete his homework and his assignments. So every time he had some story to give to his teacher. So there is this one exam that happens, and this was an assignment that had to be taken to the class. And as usual, he goes up to his teacher and he says, like, I was not able to complete, blah, blah, because this happened in my family. I was not able to complete. So the teacher said, okay. And he was surprised that, how the teacher is so calm, right? And he says, oh, but I have to pass my assignment. So can you give me some extension? So the teacher says, yeah, you take a day's extension. And he was very happy. Okay, one day I'll be able to complete. He says, but you would need to give me all your previous assignments also, the ones that you're not finished. Now this boy gets like really, jittery, because it's been months of assignments he's been not giving. He's taking things very easy, and he just feels like, for 3-4 months assignment, and now just do it in one day. And incidentally, there's a big school celebration happening at the same day also. So what the teacher tells him is that you will probably need to have to give up your celebration, or if you're able to finish it, you could go towards the end. So this guy now has his, his time, he has his, the zone that he needs to now finish his assignments in. So he has that time in front of him. So he gets down to working. He puts his 100% of commitment there. He puts his 100% mind there, and he finishes his assignments, right? So that 100% commitment is not something that is very difficult. Sometimes we just wait for some external things to happen so that we can be 100% committed. But if you've set goals and if it's really important for you, you'll be 100% committed, right? So what you can do is you can write down your goals, somewhere where you can continuously see them to always remind you. You can tell your near and your dear ones, right, about your goals, so that, they can also help you in that pursuit of your, achieving your goals. So that becomes very important, right? Then the next step is hop, skip, crawl, jump. Right now, what happens is, the moment you set your goals, there are obviously, life, and life has challenges, life has things happening, right? So there are challenges which will happen. There are certain things which will be out of your control, which will be there in your life. So prepare and anticipate those challenges. That's the smart thing to do. And the moment if you prepare and you anticipate, you will be able to adapt to it, right? Once okay, this problem might come, or this roadblock might come, you'll be able to adapt to it. Now, when we talk about challenges and difficult times, I think I remember one lady who's, again, an icon, and I really look up to her. One of my role models is Oprah Winfrey, right? We've all heard of her. We've all seen her talk shows. Now, she didn't have a very nice childhood. She stayed with her mother as a young child. Her mother was not very supportive. There was lack of education. She was sexually molested by one of her relatives. Got into drugs because of all the challenges that she was facing. She was rescued by her father, who took her out of that situation, got her to get into education. She went to, college. At the, she went and, she graduated. She also went for performing arts and communication course. And at the age of 18, she set her goals. She knew where she had come from, and she had that very strong desire to move on in life, to make things different for her, right? So from being there to really wanting and setting goals to do certain things different, at the age 18 she won a beauty pageant. And that's when she was also made an anchor of a small show, a local, TV station, hosted her for a show there. And from there on, it started doing so well that they actually named the show after her name, which is the Oprah Winfrey Show. She's the first black American to actually become a billionaire, right? So her story is so inspiring. And it's all power of goals, small goals that you set. So I'm sure she anticipated certain things. So hop if you need to, skip if you need to, if the going is good, crawl if the going is not good, but just keep moving on. Just keep moving on towards your goals. Always have a student's attitude, right? You need to have, if there are certain skills that are required, learn it, right? There are, be more resourceful there, and be open, be very open to learning, right? I think life is all about evolving, life is all about growing, life is all about moving, life is all about learning, right? Learning doesn't have any age here. uh, and it's very important. So there was this lady called Tara Connor. She was in US, and her childhood dream was to become a Miss Universe or represent her country for the Miss Universe, which is USA. She participated in the pageant. She was from Kentucky. She participated in the beauty pageants. Always she used to be the runner-up. So she was very disappointed. So one thing was to give it all up, but she said, "Oh, let me just give it one more try, one more try." She got all the videos of all the past pageants. She sat, she studied, right? And she saw a lot of things, and then she participated again. She became Miss Kentucky. Then she went on to become Miss USA, and then she represented Miss USA in Miss Universe, and she was among the top 5 contestants during this time, right? It was because she had that student's attitude. She just was ready to learn whatever was there, which could help her to learn. So I thought very inspiring, right? So always to have a student's attitude. Be a people's person. So enhance your people skills. So lots of achievement is actually teamwork, right? And there are lots of people directly or indirectly associated with your success. They could be your relatives, they could be your friends, they could be your immediate family. So it's success is never one person's job. Success is always a teamwork, right? So your people skills have to be very good. So get good at that. There are communication and people skills, which are again a huge topic, but something which is so important in today's world, because we're always dealing with people, right? We are always interacting with people, whether it's at work, whether it's at our study, our education institution, wherever. So that is one quality, and that is one skill that has to be really worked on. And this world is, and the history is full of such people who were so good at their people skills, and not very good at technical skills, but had amazing success in their lives because of the people skills, right? And then of course be true to yourself, right? So set timelines, be accountable to your goals, break goals into short term, medium term, long term. Monitor your goals, right? Be accountable to them. And that's how things starts happening for you. So okay, I'm going to ask you a question. Please try and answer that question in the chat box. Okay, so do you think the same person can swim in the same river twice? Same person can swim in the same river twice? Do you think that's possible? No, not really. How? Because the moment he gets into the river, he's not the same person, and the river is also not the same, right? Because there are so many, the person is changed because of from the first time. He's learned, he's understood certain things. He's a changed person, and the water, the tide, the flow, everything changes as well, right? And this is a beautiful example of, you know, uh, that growth, that personal growth, right? How well you evolve with every experience, how true are you to yourself, right? And then of course being disciplined to the team. Discipline is very, very important. Staying disciplined helps you through thick and thin. And every day there will be setbacks and there'll be challenges, right? But if you're disciplined enough, you will do it, right? Now there was this guy, Yamada. He won the, I think he won the Olympics marathon in the year 1984. And he was asked, he was a surprise winner, he wasn't a favorite, he was a surprise winner. And the reporters asked him, how did you win? What was your, what is it that you do, what is it that you did? And he says, well, I just chose the right track and I defeated my opponent. And reporters were like flabbergasted because that didn't make any sense to them. So incidentally he won the next time also. The next year, not at the Olympics, somewhere else, he won an event and he won the marathon again. And when he was asked this question again, he said the same thing. He said, well, I chose the right track and I defeated my opponent. People had to wait for 10 years to actually get to understand that wisdom, right? Because when he wrote his autobiography after 10 years, that's where this whole thing came out, where he talked about that, whenever there was a marathon, he actually did that work of, going through that entire area, scouting that entire area, fixing up some landmarks like that yellow gate, that red brick, that signpost. He just made a note of everything and he saw the path. He understood, that where he needed to slow down, where he could fasten up. He practiced, he was disciplined, he was possessed, right? And because of that, he was always able to achieve what he wanted to and win the races, right? Win the marathon. Active lifestyle. So when you see anybody who's really, they are looking after their health, they're looking after their fitness, they are in shape, they are positive, you will always find success there. Always. You will not find a successful person who does not have an active lifestyle, who's not bothered about his health, who's not bothered about his fitness and lots of other things. So there is a direct connection. So the moment you do this, you also get into the path of achieving your goals. And of course, be elastic, be flexible. Failure teaches you to adapt, right? Failures are always there. Failure is, falling forward. Falling forward is very important. Success cannot ever be achieved without failure because it just helps you to evolve, to grow, to move. Remember, you're not a tree. You can move, you can grow, you can evolve. You're not rooted down. You're not stuck. You can do that. And a beautiful example of that is Nokia, right? So when the smartphones were coming, this was a big company in mobile phones, but they didn't adapt as much. They were not as flexible, and they were totally wiped out by a lot of other giants who got into smartphone. Of course, they've come back and they're doing things, but it's a classic example of not adapting and not being flexible enough to bring those changes that the world is facing. So the only thing constant in world is change. And now post pandemic, I can't say post pandemic, but during pandemic, I think very important is that flexibility, the changing that mindset and that flexibility of evolving, changing, right? And being very, very plastic. And the last thing that I want to say is reward. So reward yourself with every little success, with every goal achievement. Reward yourself, because that will set you up for bigger successes, because that will help you to gain confidence. So celebrate every little goal that you can achieve in your life, right? So if you're following these steps, if you can fix your goals, and if you can follow these steps, the ones that we've just mentioned here, well, you're on your journey towards a good success, right? And happy goal setting, and wish you all the very best. Thank you, and over to the MC.
Thank you so much, Pooja ma'am, for sharing us with such interesting stories, your views, valuable advice, and insight about how important it is to have goals in our life and how can we be smart while goal setting and secret for goal setting. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, I would like to take my boss through the various courses that is offered by Mentor Mitra. We have programs for working professionals whose main aim is to engage the working people and help them improve their current performance, enhance motivational level, help them plan their short-term and long-term goals. For them, we have Compass Pro course, which is for 1 month, and Habit Forming course, which is for 3 months. Programs for school students. It is mainly designed to ensure that all the integral focus area is on the student's career development journey, and they also help to be successful in habit formation for optimizing their performance in the immediate future by scientific and continuous self evaluation. We have three programs for student: Compass course for direction setting, which is a 1 month engagement; Habit Formation course for success, which is 3 month engagement program; and Ensure Optimizer course, which is a 12-month program. We have program for university students. Our digital platform will help you to make informed choices that are duly evaluated, know your opinions clearly, and optimize your efforts to achieve the long term and short term goals. For university students, we have Compass course for direction setting, which is a 1 month; Habit Formation course for success, which is for 3 months engagement program. We also have various features that you as a user can enjoy, which are counseling sessions with our mentors, psychometric assessment, real-time periodic counseling sessions, trackers for time management, grades, career choices, eco- emotional quotient grooming modules, SWOT analysis, 24 by 7 chat box facility, performance tracking reports, and free access to webinars, videos, and blogs. Now we would like to share our app launch with you, the Mentor Mitr app. You can download the app using the QR code and the link given on the screen and using the QR code. The app is available on Play Store. It is not currently available on iOS, but it will be available very soon. You all can download the app only on Android, as just said. The download is free of cost. Programs are paid. App is available in India, Philippines, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Italy, Malaysia, Nepal, Russia, Spain, and Thailand. It will be launched in other countries soon. Kindly download our app and get help in your career development. If you have any queries with the app, please feel free to contact us or drop a mail at contact@mentormitra.com or connect@mentormitra.com. Now I would like to introduce you all to our second speaker, Anita Jayakumar. Anita Jayakumar is a seasoned corporate and business professional of over 2 decades. She is the founder of the Mindstream, a capability building firm, and co-founder of the Moneystream, a financial service firm. Anita has a diverse experience and exposure in different geographies, different markets, different sectors, different functional roles, and know how to establish as well as to startup environments. Anita currently manages the above two businesses after working with some of the biggest brands during her corporate career. Anita is also a polyglot who can speak all major Indian languages and gaining proficiency in two foreign languages. When Anita is not busy spreading the word about becoming a polymath through her training and coaching interventions, she can be found reading, cooking, or traveling. Anita advocates the philosophy of being a generalist over a specialist, has a stronger building block for success. She describes the trajectory of her life as a series of happy accidents. We welcome you, Anita, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Vriddhi, and thank you very much to the entire team of Mentor Mitr and to each one of you who's watching this right now, and for those of you who will watch it at a later date. Let me tell you a secret first. Today, if you and I are talking to each other, let me tell you, it's also because of goal setting. Because I had set a goal that I want to be working more and more, I want to be engaging more and more with young adults. Because after all, investing in tomorrow is like investing in legacy. Investing in tomorrow is like investing in mankind, in the future, in a better society, in a better world. So it's definitely thanks to goal setting that you and I are connected today, because from the time I have written that, a lot of things that I'm getting to do is related to young adults. So, guys, goal setting definitely works. On that note, thank you so much for your time and patience when you're listening to me today. Some questions that I'm going to explore, and like Pooja said, it's an ocean, so I will touch upon them briefly, and I'll suggest what could be a way you can increase your awareness about goal setting. So the first thing is, of course, is goal setting important? We'll explore that. Why should we really set goals? How can we achieve them? How can we go about setting goals in a manner that we achieve them totally? Can something come in the way of goal setting? Well, let's find out. And what happens when we really achieve our goals? Guys, that's also a possibility, right? Because everything that Vriddhi read out in her introduction had been a goal to me sometime or other. Like whether it's learning languages, I have a goal. I want to be speaking close to 20 languages by the time I'm 50. With regards to work, with regards to personal hobbies, for everything I have a goal. So let's hope you carry back something when I'm talking about all these things. However, moving on, if I were to start the topic with, is goal setting really important? I would rather flip the coin, which means I will say, no, it's not important. I mean, after all, nobody's probably standing with a gun at the back of your head saying, no, you have to set goals, right? But then think about this, recollect this, check this out, Google it, do whatever you want. But anybody worth their salt, if you find out how they are wherever they are, you will see each and every one of them without an exception saying that they always had it as a goal, or they always had it as a dream, they always had it as a vision, because vision or dream is nothing but the expanded goal, like Pooja was rightly mentioning. So is goal setting important? Is kind of like, I don't even know whether it's an appropriate discussion point, because goal setting is what makes our journey of life not be a rudderless ship. Okay, because the most adventurous of us, even people who feel like we are going to go backpacking or take a sabbatical, or just figure out as things go along, we still have a goal. Sometimes we know it, sometimes we explicitly state it, sometimes we just have it at the back of our mind, but the goal is always there. Can we go to the next slide? Because what I'm going to talk about here is some good news. Let goal setting not be some new topic for you. Let it not be something that you're introduced to at this point of time. Because guess what? Goal setting is something we are used to from our childhood. Literally, that probably you should walk or talk by the age of X months. To which age do you need to get into your early education, to what should be the elective in your later years, to what graduation will you pursue, what undergrad, what grad, what work, in the work appraisals, by what time will I get married, have children, how much money will I make. At some conscious or unconscious level, goal setting is something that is always a part of our life. So, what's the discussion about today? So, today is about maybe digging it a little deeper and getting some new perspectives about goal setting. Can you go to the next slide, Rudy? So we are habituated to goals, but then I'm going to talk about two, three important models. Where the first one Pooja has spoken about in length, because it is arguably one of the most powerful models on goal setting. The more specific I am, the more I know I'm able to measure it, the more I can achieve it, the more I make it relevant or realistic, and the more time bound I make it, I can achieve a goal. Having said that, why is this such a powerful model? Well, think about this. Or rather, not think about this, kindly believe me when I say this. Just the way we don't like confusion in our life, just the way we love clarity in our life, the universe also likes clarity. And that's why this model of goal setting seems to work wonders for many people out there. Because I want to be rich is very different than I want to be earning $150,000 in a year. I want to have a big car is very different than I want to have an Audi Q4. Or I would love to be a great sports person vis-a-vis I want to take the Olympics gold. You look at any rich, any successful, any established industrial sports person, they will always talk about something related to goal setting, talking about stories, and Pooja has given us some interesting ones. Like if you remember, what Djokovic told in when he won the US Open last month. He said that when he was a child, he used to make the Wimbledon Cup, the US Open Cup, with just scrap material that was available in and around. whether you take PV Sindhu, you take anybody. I don't even want to take names here, because you have enough examples where every person who makes it has some time thought of it as a goal. You will never find a gold medalist actually telling that, oh, I got up and it just happened. In fact, you know what? They literally say that I imagined this moment, I don't know for how long. I imagined wearing that medal. I imagined holding that trophy. I imagined my country's national anthem being